Hey everybody, welcome back to Kingdoms Reborn. In the last episode, we got our second Tier 2 luxury toilet paper. We started the production of petroleum, getting ready for a petroleum power plant. Today we go after yet another Tier 3 luxury in order to get our houses upgraded to level 3. But before we get started, I want to go over the museum because between episodes, I went ahead and found the rest of the relics. So if we take a look in here, we've got the prosperity, which is the 50% from the caravans. We may put down a caravan to see how well it is in this build. I don't know from previous builds quite how it was. We've got the pilgrimage for the 50%, Islander life, which has given us quite a few of the upgrade points. Fulfilled life, we're going to have to take a look at this because I don't believe that this is working correctly. Remembrance, which is 1% city attractiveness over for each level 8 house, which we will hopefully be getting in this episode relatively quickly. And then the Royal Heritage. And if we take a look up here, we can see from the museum, we are getting 880 or 845 museum card set slot points. That is a amazing amount of points that we're getting from the museum. This is absolutely worth finding. If you guys are playing along with this map, I'm going to show you where all of the dig sites are. So we've got right here, it's the old ruin. Almost right adjacent to it is the pyramid, and this is the second one. And then on this island over here, you can see it hiding right here. You have the stepped ruin, and this is where I found the black bears. For anybody who's wondering where the black bears were, it's right in this area up here. You can see a bunch of them. Brown bears I had to scavenge the map for. And then if we take a look over here, the stone circle is in this general area. Takes me forever to kind of find it, so kind of bear with me for a second. And there it is. So right there is the stone circle. So with it highlighted, I'll go ahead and zoom out a little bit so you guys can see it. So it is right in that little spot. I don't know if just playing the same setup will cause them to spawn in the same spot or not, but that is the 4 ruins, and that will get you everything that you need in order to upgrade your museum all the way. All right, next on the list, we need to spend some points on technology and see where we want to do our last of our tier 3 luxury. So let's go ahead and spend these points. We'll go for the cotton mill in order to get to the world trade. I think that's going to be pretty important. We'll get the clock makers, then we can get the world trade office. I'm not sure if we can currently get the world trade office only through the procurement in the card slot, the card book, or if we can get them this way as well. But at least it's another option. I don't know why it's in the card shop if this is the way we build it. I don't know. That's confusing to me. And then we're going to get economic theory. No, we're going to get social science in order to produce the passion and motivation, as those motivation are currently worth 50% production. So we're going to go ahead and grab that. Now the plan is for the next episode to be the end of this series, just kind of as a heads up as to what I would like. Now, what I'm thinking for our next luxury. So if we take a look at our houses over here, we go ahead and scroll down. We have books, which we could do. We'd have to pick up dies for. We have high fashion, which we cannot do quite yet because we haven't picked up the upgrade point for it. Then we have jewelry, which is created from gold and gems. Chocolate, which we're producing. Pocket watches, which require gold and glass in order to make. Toilet paper, which we're producing. And electronics, which only comes from the Shogunate Empire. So we are limited to just those few. And what I was thinking is over in the card shop, we pick up a couple of resource outposts. I'm thinking we go with 3 of them, maybe 4, and then we're going to get gold and gems. So let's pick up those. That should be good for the time being. And we'll find a spot for gold and gems. So we can see down by this empire down here, we've got a spot for gems. I think this would be a good spot. Let's go ahead and drop it. It looks like 31 per round. Cost is 625, but that's perfectly fine. We just don't want to trade from them. And this is weird. It says connect trade route to this. So we might be able to do a trade route. Let's see if it requires a road. So yeah, it requires an intercity road. That's an interesting thing. I'll put an intercity road there just to see how that plays out, but I'm not sure why it would require to be connected for a trade. Maybe we'll pass through another town up here. We'll do something like that. We'll go up through this town so that we can connect that one with trade, and then we'll connect it up here. It's going to be a big, beefy road as it's all the way through our empire. So we'll just connect that like that. That should connect it. And then we can see what it does when we connect it to the trade route, and still needs an inner city road. So I will play around with that a little bit more to see if I can figure it out. Let's see if we can connect this one. And that one is connected. So that's weird that this one doesn't connect, but the other one does. Weird. I don't know. That might be a bug that allows you to connect it. So now we're going to look for some gold and maybe even another gem and take in a look. I thought I saw some gold up this way. Sure enough, right there's some gold. Let's get this boil right here. 44 per round. I don't know if this is going to be enough for what we're looking for, but if not, we do have a couple more. And then the last place that I want to put down those last two is in these grapes. Now, the reason I'm going to go after the grapes is currently we're stopping the production of wine just because we're running out of grapes. So I just want to get those up and going. And that finished the social science, which will get us the ability to make our motivation and passion books. So let's go ahead and find our scholar's office and we'll get that swapped over. I would like to get this upgraded to electricity, which means that oil power will be next. Let's get motivation, and it takes 98 paper to make one card. I want to get this as productive as possible so that we can get a lot of those cards produced. And then maybe we can take a look at getting the advanced version of them. So petroleum power, let's go ahead and get that. And we'll place it up here by the petroleum. That seems like that would be the best place. So power, and we're going to go ahead and pick up that oil power plant. Let's drop it right there. We'll go ahead and quick build it because we have the money. We do have a war going on, and it will take a little bit of time for them to get back. And this only produces 50 kilowatts. Man, I was really hoping that it would produce more. So it looks like we're capable of producing 200, and we're only using 128. So we've got some room to upgrade. Might as well upgrade some bread just to get it, well, as far as we can. So we will upgrade all of them. So it upgrades 3 of them with that, and we'll go ahead and spend down some points as we've got a little over 10,000 iron bars. I want to just take this down, maybe all of them to level 5. It takes us to 5,000 iron bars. That should be good. And then over here, I placed in another medicine maker. Let's grab our yearly steel card and our yearly immigrants card. So I want to get this one upgraded. Currently, we're having to produce all of our medicine via wood. Some sustainability books might be good for this just to get it down. We do need to upgrade this as far as we can. If we go over to the other one, we're at level 7. We want to go ahead and take this right to that same level 7. I don't know that we need to get any further, but at least for right now, we're struggling with wood. So that's why I want to get that sustainability book. Let's grab it since that will give me that book that I wanted. And we're going to have to get 2 more for the other one since we're just struggling. Maybe what we do for the meantime, grab that motivation, grab one of those sustainability, swap the motivation in there just to bring the base amount down. And then we'll look at doing one more. Let's get the pharmaceutical guild for an extra 10%. Still not producing as much as we would if we were using the medical herbs, but the advantage is that we're producing it from wood, and I think wood is cheaper to buy. Let's add a buy order for wood since we're having some issues, and that is not the buy order, that's the sell order. For as long as I sold wood, it really surprises me now that we're in need of it so much. So we'll grab this, we'll set it to, I'm going to say to 2,000 that we have at any given time to make sure our bread doesn't stop. And then we'll buy up to 400 a piece. Now taking a look, we're spending a lot on our fees. And this is something that I'd like to get rid of this episode. And woo, they gifted us 100. So something I'd like to get rid of this episode is the Companies Act. And now that we have some money, we'll go ahead and drop this out and let's see what we're looking at for the trade fee. So we're looking at 21%. It was at 9% before. So if we start doing some upgrades, we're going to need to go quite a ways in order to make up for that. Let's see what level 10 does. And it brings us down to 5%. So we're going to need 3 more levels, but at least right now it's below what it was. Let's go ahead and get 1 more level. I'm not sure that we're going to hit where we spend enough money to make that worthwhile, but currently we should be at 3%. I'm good with 3% for the time being. It gives us another card slot for our main building. We want to put some things in there. Absolutely. Let's move around some cards so we have room over here. And we're going to go ahead and go to our card shop because there are some things that we want in here. Man, everything kind of happening all at once throws me off a little bit. So one thing that I wanted for the main building was, I believe, man, I really want beer tax and home brew, but at the same time, we don't have the ability to have those and what we currently have. Oh, I guess we do Happy Bread Day for an extra 20% to food happiness. I think that would be pretty good. I know there's more things that I'd like to put in there in the future, but at least that will get us another 20% food happiness. So let's drop that in there. That should move our food happiness well over 100%. And you can see that we're climbing up to that probably 125, 130 mark this episode. I'm pretty happy about that. Let's get, now that the petroleum's made, let's get some things upgraded. It looks like we've got 16 more potential electricity to do. I don't know. I really wish this was a little bit more clear on how much energy our total network would use versus how much it currently is. Because right now we have 20 to use, but it's vague. When I get the card slot upgraded, the scholar shop upgraded so that we can get cards faster. Cards faster, absolutely important. So let's get this upgraded to the electronic machinery. It's a 30% faster, absolutely. And we'll go all the way up to, since I've got 5,000, well, I had 5,000 metal, we'll bring it to 7. I think that's a good spot. I would like to get another scholar's office, and then once we get a little bit more electricity and some more steel, I think we're going to double down, and you can see that it is going through those cards a little bit quicker. So let's get another scholar's office right here. Let's go ahead and quick build that. We're going to set it over to motivation. I'm not sure if I need to switch out the sustainability with motivation, because I do want to get this quite a bit quicker. And you can see that for some reason, they're not doing any card production right now. That's weird to me. Let's go ahead and give the improved production. Let's go ahead and bring it up to the current age, and we'll spend as much steel as we have just getting it upgraded all the way. We'll increase the budget and give it a little bit of overtime. Let's throw the motivation in there for the time being as they try to get more motivation cards. We'll do one motivation, one sustainability. So we'll do something like this for both of them. I believe we're still purchasing paper. Otherwise, our current supply of paper is being just driven by this one paper mill. We may have to go through another either paper maker or the advanced paper in this episode. Let's now focus on getting gold bars. Let's grab those yearly cards first. Grab those immigrants. We're close to 700 people. I'm getting excited for where we're at, because when you hit that 700 people mark, that's the sign that you're entering the end game. And I've been playing this for, as we're year 114, I've been playing this for close to probably 15 to 20 hours. Let's get a couple of houses in here. These will be the houses that are going to be needed to supply our gold industry. God, can't speak today. Fun fact about me, I can never speak. I fumble over words all the time. Let's grab that motivation, and then we'll grab first the gold smelter. In order to get us some gold bars, we'll go ahead and throw it over here by our power plant. Let's do another power plant next to that power plant since we have the petroleum. So we'll do the gold smelter right there. We'll grab another power plant right here, and not that. Let's grab the power plant. Let's rotate instead of fat fingering it. I guess we place it right on this road right here, since the hillside looks like it's a little bit bigger than what I thought it was, and we'll get some roads over this way. I'll quick build those just to get them so that we don't have any laborers working on these, and then we can start the production of gold. And it looks like it turns 11 gold ore into 18 bars. If we bump the budget, give it a little bit of overtime, we bring it right to the electric age. We'll give it the teamwork, and we might as well do the efficient furnaces. It's only 7 ore and 7 coal for 30 bars. We'll go double motivation in that, and eventually we'll upgrade these to the motivation plus, but that's going to get us the gold that we need to make our pocket watches. Let's get a large warehouse over here. I guess we go right here, and the last thing that we're going to want is jewelry so that we can start making that last luxury. Now, ultimately, I would like all the tier 3 luxuries with the exception of the electronic gadgets. I just don't want to import luxuries. I think that's not really a good way of playing the game. I just don't. Let's go ahead and quick build that warehouse. We'll quick build the jeweler. We'll give it a little bit of a budget, and we'll give it some work hours. We'll do the training, and tools. We're out of tools. Oh my gosh. That is not, oh God, that's a panic moment. Let's go down to the trade and fix that right now. Oh, that was almost bad. Let's do iron tools. Let's go ahead and bring this up to 2K, since it looks like that would be about a year, 2-year supply, and we'll upgrade this to 500. We'll grab a couple more trade companies because I'd like to make sure that we have enough trade to push all of the trade that we need. And let's go ahead and quick build these. We'll get them upgraded right to the industrial age, and we might as well mark them as both subsidiaries. That should give us a little bit more trade room, and you can see we're up to 2,100. That should be plenty good. Currently, we are selling some fish. This is going to be in order to get us a little bit of money. And if we look at our bread supply, we are 160,000 bread. Let's go ahead and add bread to the export list just to bring that down a little. So bread will be the next thing that we sell. It's not very expensive. We may use the World Trade Center to get this a little bit, maybe in a better place. Let's do 100,000 is the goal. We'll sell up to 500 per round. And then the next thing on the list would be to place down one of the trade centers to see what we can do. And this is probably under other. So if we take a look, World Trade Office, there we go. Decreases or increases the price. Cost 25,000. The upkeep is 200. But with the amount of bread that we have, that's going to be well worth it. Let's grab our yearly cards and let's go ahead and quick build that. And you can see that we're starting to get motivation cards. So this is really good. So now we have the ability to increase a price of something. Let's go ahead and increase bread, and then a price to decrease. And something that we are buying quite a bit of is iron tools. Let's go ahead and get the iron tools as the decrease. So each round it will decrease the price by 5% by the looks of it. This is pretty good. I'm probably going to buy a couple of these because at 200 upkeep, it will pay for itself when it comes to us selling bread and us buying tools. It's going to be imperative. Let's go ahead and get a second one of those. And apparently I can't copy and paste it. But this really begs the question of why is it that I can buy that through the card shop, but yet I can also get it through the card system? I'm really confused as to why that is, because this one doesn't look like it's any different than the other, with the exception of this is available the moment we get into the industrial age versus this is available after we've researched it. In the upgrade, let's go ahead and pick up Odin's Hall for 20% building appeal. And we'll, oh man, we require level 8 houses to do that. That's not what I expected. I was thinking we were going to be able to immediately go into that. And let's take a look at jewelry to see if that's in. Well, let's get another World Trade Office before we do that. And then we'll get another of the, we'll check out the jewelry maker to see if that is working. So let's do this boyo right here. Takes a lot of glass. So we're just going to quick build it. It costs 390,000 to quick build. That is an amazing amount. We're going to have to do some raids to make up for that. Let's go ahead and set this to bread, and we'll see if we can push the price of bread to a place where it's unreal. And then we're going to drive the price of iron tools down so low that we can buy them on the penny. So just iron tools. I'll probably add some more of these, as it seems like it's a pretty good acquisition. 200 per round doesn't seem like a whole lot in comparison to the price of something like tools, which is 40 per round. So we're going to try to tank this. We're going to try to bring the price of bread up, and then they should counteract each other. We probably spent a lot of money recovering from tools because that's quite expensive. All right, let's go ahead and head back up this way. That threw me off. I've got to admit, like, I wasn't quite expecting that. And we can see that our first line of jewelry is getting ready to be produced. Let's grab one sustainability in there. I just want to get the amount of gold down just a touch. And the ore, it looks like we're producing plenty, so we might not be able, or might not need to worry about gemstone. Let's go ahead and spend some of these motivation for motivation plus, and we'll do the upgrades for the the tools for the 35% upgrade. Wow, cannot word. Let's grab in the card shop. Let's go ahead and combine all of these and see what the motivation plus is, which is for every 1% over 75, we get 2% productivity. That's still pretty good. We're close to, it would be a close to 50% above that 75, which would mean this gives 100% motivation. That's huge. Absolutely huge. If we put 2 of those in a building, that would be 200% productivity. I cannot, that blows my mind. So if we look at it, we're at 295. We drop that in there. We're at 393, 1% more, and we're at that 100%. Yeah, that's something we're gonna have to go after, but it brings us to 136 jewelry per. And what we should see now is that we should start to see some of the houses getting some of the jewelry, and we should see some of the houses start to upgrade. And if we take a look up at our houses, we can see that we've got 110 houses, 107 are already level 7. So we're in a good place there. Now, happiness is something that we want to go after even more now that we've got those. And I want to get a war going since we are just hurting for money at the moment. We just got our first level 8 house. Yes, please. We are getting there. So now we're going to start seeing some increases to our city attractiveness as our houses go up. We're going to see some other things that are now improving, and we're going to start seeing some benefits from all of the different buildings that we had, which required level 8 houses. This is going to be all around a good thing. Let's go ahead and find somebody to raid that is maybe a little bit further out. We'll go to this island over here. These guys are probably not affected by the AI because I'm thinking the AI is attacking some of the minor cities. We can see this one's at 44,000. We can see this one's at 1.3 million. That's going to be the one we're going to attack. Let's grab our infantry. Let's grab our artillery, and we'll start that war. That's going to take a little bit of time. That's a lot of chewing through the HP, I guess, because that's 1.3 million HP. Thankfully, the units aren't an issue. It's just eating through the treasure that's going to be an issue. But that will get us a little bit of money to recover from all of the spending. I know that the Companies Act, or not the Companies Act, getting rid of the Companies Act and upgrading the policy office was a huge chunk of it. And then spending on these World Trade Centers was another huge chunk of that. So we're just going to have to recover from this. Let's go ahead and pick up our yearly cards. We'll pick up the immigrants, and it looks like our total housing is going up as we're getting those level 8 houses. Let's go ahead and see if we can find one. There's probably one based up here, and it looks like maybe these ones, and it is 7 people in the houses. So there is no increase in the amount of people that we're getting from the level 8 houses versus the level 7. And if we take a look, we're getting 93 gold and 63 science from the level 7 house. If we take a look at the next one, it's almost double for both. So we're going to need this in order to get our science, in order to get some of those end game techs. Now, what did it require for the Odin's Hall? It requires 80 of the houses to be upgraded to level 8. So we're going to start working our way that way. And then over here, for this building, it also requires 80 of the houses. So we're at a point where we can start spending our science on some of the other things. I guess we go to economic theory for 20% budget, since we've got the points and we don't have the houses upgraded yet. And currently we're at 1,000 upgrade points. So this is something that I was thinking that we were going to struggle with, having enough upgrade points in order to maintain everything. But the further along we are, the more I think that it's just one of those things that when you hit a certain level, you're going to be there. So medicine looks like it may finally be recovering. So I think we're good there. Let's upgrade the advanced machinery just a little bit further, and maybe we switch out one of these with a motivation to get this a little bit more productive. Let's do that, and then we're going to go ahead and upgrade one of these motivation cards to a motivation plus, and that will go into our steel production. That should increase us quite a bit. So if we're at 124 right now, this is going to bring us up to 175. I think we're at that point in the game where we start getting away from the sustainability and just flat out go with massive production. This is the point where I think we're at that point in the game where we just flat out go for huge production and skip trying to minimize things. We have plenty of money. We have plenty of upgrade points. So it's just now pushing it to the extreme. Let's go ahead and get the open hearth furnace. Pushes us to 196. This is going to be good. If we get 4 rounds a year, this should be a little less than 1,000. That's going to keep us in the good for all of our metal. And I do want to start looking at our next tier 3 luxury, because we have plenty of people right now. As we pushed into that era, once we hit the electric era and our food was finally in a good place, we hit a weird spot in the game where everything just opened up. And this is where you kind of know that you've won the game and it's just finishing the motions. Let's get Let's get the paper mill increase. I think we have enough electricity to do this. It's only 18 kilowatts. We'll go ahead and upgrade this. We'll spend all the steel we have, which we have just shy of 2,000. So we'll get this upgraded to, yeah, level 4 is fine. Brings us to 126. I would like to decrease the amount of wood in there, but at least for right now, we're buying the wood, which is keeping us above. Let's take a look at our trade and see if bread has changed any, which it has not, as is just plummeted. But iron tools are coming down. This is good. We want this. I think it was 41 and now it's down to 39. So we're going to want to spend a little bit more to keep that stable. Probably once we get our next big rush of money, we'll go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and grab our yearly cards. Let's grab the immigrants and let's take a look at the pocket watches, depending on if we have enough workers now that everybody's back in the farms. So 50 workers. So we have enough workers in order to get at the next thing, but it looks like gold is struggling. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of an upgrade into our goldsmith. So we're producing 40 per round. We look at this, it takes 43. So either we need another sustainability in our jeweler, or we need to get a little bit more productivity in the gold smelter, or we could go for another one. We've got steel bars. Let's go ahead and see what the power plant looks like. It looks like we've got a little bit of room there. Let's do electronic machinery there, and we'll bring it all the way as far as we can. Only brings us to 51. I don't think this is worth it. Let's grab the smelting guild and we'll go ahead and do a copy paste and get another one of the smelters going. We'll do double motivation just like we did on the other one. I guess we should combine these, but we'll come back and combine them in a little bit. Let's get that built. Let's do all of our upgrades. We're just going to take it right to the industrial age there. We'll stop at electricity just because we're a little shy on bars. We might look at doing yet another power plant. That would be pretty good. And this should get us enough to get the pocket watches up and going. So I don't think that the pocket watches is the jeweler. So I'm not seeing it in there. I guess it's clockmaker. So the jeweler does not have an option, so we can't change that. Maybe it's under watch. Nope. We'll go under industrial and we'll take a look at it. And maybe I didn't spend the points to open it up. So just making sure. Clockmaker. All right, so I'm not losing my mind here. So we'll do clockmaker, produces clocks, well, pocket watches from glass and gold. We'll go ahead and grab that. We'll throw it right there. Let's take a look at our houses, and we're 74 of the level 8 houses. We're getting close to being able to pick up the Odin's Hall. Let's get the clockmaker not built because we don't have enough money to build that, but that's fine. That money should come in as soon as the war is over. But I think that this is a good spot to call this episode. Between episodes, I'm going to do a lot of playing ahead in order to get us ready for the final episode before we get to the Shogunate Empire. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you for subbing, for leaving comments, and we'll see you in the next episode.